Hello my beautiful keto family and welcome to my channel. In this video, I will show you 3 ways that the ketogenic diet can help improve menopausal symptoms. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Talita from Shrinking with Keto. And at the early age of 32, I had a complete hysterectomy performed, tossing me directly into the menopausal pool. Now, throughout my ketogenic journey, I have lost over 190 pounds, reversed my diabetes type 2, and regulated my hormone levels. In other words, I claimed my life back, and I have been obsessed with helping you claim your life back now. Now you want to make sure you're going to stay until the end of this video, because at the end of this video, I'm going to give you a tip that can help reduce some of those symptoms right now. And not theoretically, practically. I mean, within the next 45 minutes of you watching this video. Stay to the end. Now, if this is the first time you are seeing this pretty face, let's make sure it is not the last. So subscribe to my channel and ring the bell icon so that you can get all future notifications. Now, full disclaimer, guys, I'm not a nurse, I'm not a medical practitioner, and by no terms am I a doctor. Everything and anything I say in my videos is based on extensive research. And when I say extensive research, you have no idea. I mean sleepless nights of research. Extensive research and my own personal experience, which I hope is enough to help you. Let's jump directly into symptom number 1, and by far my worst, hot flashes. The dreaded hot flashes, where all of a sudden, in the middle of winter, while other people are coated up, you feel that redness in your cheeks and the sweat breaking out, and there is nothing that can help you. No air conditioning in the world can help these interior hot flashes from killing you. So, how can the ketogenic diet help us with these? There are many theories as to why hot flashes occur. Now, there have been many reported cases of women that claim that the hot flashes have reduced in occurrence once they start the ketogenic diet. But that just was not enough for me. I'm a why person, so I needed to know the why behind it. And that's when I dove into the research as to why the hot flashes occur. There are many theories behind it, 2 of which triggered my attention and seem to directly correlate with the ketogenic lifestyle. Theory number 1 is the insulin resistance theory. Now, when glucose goes up, so does insulin. And when insulin goes up, something called insulin resistance occurs, which triggers cortisol levels to rise in our blood. Now, for the sake of simplicity, we're going to call cortisol the stress hormone. And when cortisol levels raise in our blood, it sets off hot flashes. Now, how can the ketogenic diet help with this? Carbohydrates have a direct impact in our body because carbohydrates break down into simple sugars, therefore raising our glucose levels. Now, the ketogenic diet is a high-fat, moderate protein, very low carbohydrate diet. So you understand, once you restrict your intake of carbohydrates, then the glucose levels in your blood can do nothing else but stabilize. Now, the second theory is the glucose-brain connection. Our brain's primary fuel source for energy is glucose. Now, our brain can neither produce glucose nor store glucose. In order for our brain to be fueled with energy, glucose needs to be transported to our brain 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And it is dependent on something else called GLUT1 to transport the glucose through our blood-brain barrier. Now, GLUT1 is the primary transport protein that transports glucose to our brain through the blood-brain barrier. And there is a little problem there. GLUT1 is estrogen dependent. You heard me right. Estrogen dependent. Uh-oh. Now, it is common knowledge that in perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause, our estrogen levels drop. Therefore, when we have something that is estrogen dependent, guess what? It's probably not going to function properly. It does not fuel our brain with enough glucose to give it the energy it needs. Therefore, stressing our brain out, and guess what? Raises the cortisol levels again, freaks out, hot flashes occur. Now, how can the ketogenic diet help us here? Well, believe it or not, our brain can run on two types of fuel. Glucose, as we previously mentioned, and guess what, guys? Ketones. And our brain prefers ketones over glucose if they are available, because it is a much cleaner form of fuel for our brain. Now, ketones are not estrogen dependent. So whether you are in menopause, perimenopause, or postmenopause, ketones can sufficiently fuel your brain 100%. Therefore, reducing the initial causes that can trigger the hot flashes in our body. This leads us to symptom number 2, brain fog. And guys, you know it's not just brain fog. If any of you have experienced this, it is lack of concentration, it is anxiety, it is mood swings, it is bad sleep, and in some cases, and that was mine, it is even depression. Now, right after the hysterectomy that I previously mentioned, I went through post-traumatic stress disorder and severe depression. And that was by far my hardest obstacle. By far. Worse than the obesity, worse than the diabetes, was the depression. And yes, the ketogenic lifestyle helped me remove that dark cloud from my head. Throughout my research, one of the reoccurring themes from nutrition scientists was the claim that the ketogenic diet helps reduce brain fog and helps with mental clarity. Now, the ketogenic diet is being extensively researched for Alzheimer's disease. And what does that have to do? Well, let's think about it for a second. If the ketogenic diet could actually delay, and in some cases even prevent Alzheimer's, imagine what it can do to the menopausal brain. Now, our brain uses 20% of our total energy. Yes, just our brain needs 20% of our total energy. So you understand, if you take out the fact that it needs to be fueled by glucose, and it can naturally be fueled by ketones that are not estrogen dependent, they do not need GLUT1 to enter the blood-brain barrier, you can understand the magic that can happen. You can understand the way it can reduce these symptoms dramatically. Which takes us to symptom number 3, weight gain. Weight gain and menopause. How many of you have experienced the fact that you haven't changed what you eat, you haven't changed the quality, you haven't changed basically anything in your life, and entering those menopausal years, all of a sudden, boom, 20 pounds right around your waistline? Why? Well, estrogen is responsible for this as well. Throughout our reproductive years, estrogen is responsible for distributing fat. And it distributes the fat around our thighs and our breast area. And when we leave those reproductive years and enter the years of menopause, guess again, estrogen is the one that is responsible for our fat distribution. Only this time it distributes it right around the midsection, increasing the risk for cardiovascular diseases. Now, self-explanatory, but let's go ahead and say it. How can the ketogenic diet help with this? Well, the ketogenic diet is searched and ranked number 1 for weight loss. And it is well documented that you can lose weight, and persistent weight. You can take my word for that, guys, with the ketogenic diet. Now, when it comes to menopausal women, you need some tricks and tweaks in order to help this persistent weight come off, and in order to help the cortisol levels, because again, our body will get stressed with the diet change. We don't want them to raise, and we want to keep our hormones in balance. So I'm just going to give you a couple of tips really fast, but if you want a full plan of the ketogenic diet for menopausal women, you can go ahead and check my video above. Now, we want to make the ketogenic diet a little more alkaline for menopausal women. We want to add just a dash more of fiber. And one last thing, we want to add a lot more leafy greens when it comes to menopausal women. Also, if we can insert a little bit of intermittent fasting, miracles will occur. All right, and now is a little tip for all of you that stayed until the end. If before you start the ketogenic diet and before you embark on this health journey, you want to help your energy levels, you want to boost your energy levels, you want to reduce the brain fog and the fatigue. Now, well, here's my tip for you. MCT oil. MCT oil is an oil made from medium chain triglycerides, thus MCT, which immediately is converted into energy in our body. So if you go ahead and start right now by taking 30 to 45 grams of MCT oil daily, you will see dramatic results. It takes only about half an hour to 45 minutes for our liver to convert the MCT oil into ketones, and it is definitely going to boost your energy. Try it and you will remember me. And one more thing, the most important, chin up, princess, or the crown falls.